All right, so today we're diving into some pretty heady stuff.
Oh, yeah, we're going way back.
We're going back in time, talking about, an emperor.
An emperor philosopher.
Yeah, Marcus Aurelius.
Marcus Aurelius.
And his writings called Meditations.
Meditations, yeah. This is a classic.
It is. What I think is so interesting about this is, we think about ancient Rome, we think about like gladiators and war and stuff.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
Like conquest and like building the empire.
Right.
But then to think that like the emperor, the guy in charge, is like also writing these deep thoughts about philosophy and how to live a good life. It's just
it's kind of crazy.
It's a trip. It's fascinating.
It is fascinating. And so we wanted to kind of dive into this source material today.
Yeah. Meditations, well, first of all, like you were saying, it wasn't really meant for
public consumption.
All right, Lois. It was like his own.
It was like his personal journal. I mean, we have it now.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting to kind of get this glimpse into like
behind the curtain
of what this guy was thinking,
Yeah, absolutely.
Like not just the, what we read in history books about his reign.
Right.
But like what was going through his head as he was dealing with all this stuff.
Yeah. And that's, I think, what's so relevant about it, too. Like we may not be emperors of Rome, but we all have our own empires that we're...
Exactly. No, we all have our challenges.
Yeah.
And we all have, things that we're dealing with, that we're wrestling with,
Yeah, absolutely.
And so yeah, to see how he was dealing with these things, I think it offers a lot of insights for us today.
So let's back up a little bit for a second.
Yeah.
Who is Marcus Aurelius?
So Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor.
Okay.
From 161 to 180 A.D.
Okay.
Considered the last of what they call the five good emperors.
Okay.
Which is, it's a period of, relative peace and stability in Roman history.
Okay. So not a bad guy.
Relatively speaking.
Okay.
For an emperor.
Right.
He was known for his wisdom, for his justice.
Okay.
But don't let that fool you. His reign was not all sunshine and roses.
Easy street.
Right. So, I mean, he was dealing with constant threats from barbarian tribes on the borders of the empire, right? There was a devastating plague that swept through the empire during his reign.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
The Antonine Plague, they call it.
Oh, wow.
Killed millions of people. So,
that's a lot.
So, I mean, that's a lot of pressure, right?
Oh, yeah.
Just from those things.
Right. Imagine being an emperor and then having a plague.
Oh, yeah.
Like, come on.
It's like a PR nightmare.
Yeah.
So...
Not to mention, the normal everyday stresses of running an empire.
Right, exactly.
Political rivals, internal conflicts, all that stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, he had a lot going on.
He had a lot going on. And yet he still found time to write these deep, insightful reflections in Meditations.
Yeah. What do you think, like, what was he trying to achieve with Meditations?
I think for him it was a way to kind of process all these challenges that he was facing.
Yeah.
I mean, like you were saying, it's kind of crazy to think about that he had the time, right?
Yeah.
And the mental space to do this.
Right.
But I think for him it was really important to kind of to step back from all the chaos and to kind of really reflect on what it means to live a good life. What it means to be a good person.
Yeah.
What it means to be a good leader.
Yeah, even though he had all these challenges, he was still
searching for something.
He was still looking for like how to
live this better.
Yeah, exactly. How to be better, how to navigate these things.
Right. Yeah.
And so I think that's what comes through in Meditations.
Yeah. I think that's a really good point.
Yeah.
So let's get into some of those insights, those reflections.
Okay, so one of the most famous quotes from Meditations that I think really speaks to this is you have power over your mind, not outside events.
Oh, I've heard that one.
Realize this, and you will find strength.
That's good. I mean, that's pretty simple, but
yeah, it's simple.
It's pretty deep too,
But it's profound.
Yeah, it's profound.
Right. I mean, it's really the core of Stoic philosophy.
Right.
Which is this idea that we can't control everything that happens to us.
But we can control our reactions to those things.
Right.
And that's where our real power lies.
So how does that, I mean, okay, so I get that, but how does that actually, like, work?
So think about it this way.
Okay.
How often do you, like, get stressed out?
Oh my God, all the time.
Over things that you can't change.
Yes.
Right? Like traffic. You're stuck in traffic. You can't do anything about it.
Right.
Delayed flights.
Ugh, the worst.
Right. Someone's being rude to you.
Oh, yeah.
And you just, like, your mind just automatically...
You just, like, clench up.
Yeah, you clench up, you get angry, you get frustrated, and it's like, what good does that do?
It does nothing.
Right.
It just makes it worse.
It just makes you feel worse.
Yes.
So what Aurelius is saying is, like, look,
yeah,
you have a choice in that moment.
Okay.
You can choose to react with anger, with frustration.
Yeah.
Or you can choose to approach that situation with a sense of, like, calm and acceptance.
Okay, but how do you, like, I mean, that sounds good in theory.
Right.
But, like, how do you actually do that?
So it's a practice.
Okay.
Right. It's not like you just flip a switch.
Right.
And suddenly you're, like, a stoic sage.
Right.
But it's about, first of all, being aware of your thoughts.
Yeah.
Noticing those patterns. Like, oh, I'm getting angry right now.
Right.
And then asking yourself, like, is this helpful?
Okay.
Is this serving me?
Is this actually going to change anything?
Is this going to change anything? Yeah. Or is it just going to make me miserable?
Right.
And often, the answer is, like, it's not going to change anything.
Yeah.
It's just going to make me feel worse.
So then you have the power to be like, okay.
Exactly.
Let it go.
You can choose to kind of, like, let go of that anger.
Right.
Let go of that frustration.
Right.
And just kind of accept the situation for what it is and move on.
So it's not about, like, pretending.
No, it's not about pretending that things are okay.
It's not about being, like,
right.
fake happy all the time. It's about choosing a more helpful mindset.
Yeah.
Right? It's about recognizing that. Like, our thoughts have a powerful impact on our experience.
Right.
And so if we can kind of shift our thoughts to a more positive or at least a more neutral place, then we can actually change our experience of that situation.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's not about, like, ignoring the problem.
Right.
It's about, like, reframing
it. Yeah, exactly. It's about, like, choosing how you want to respond rather than just letting your emotions kind of, like, run wild.
Take over.
Yeah, take over.
Okay.
So that's one of the big insights from meditations.
Okay, and so that was, remind me that quote one more time. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength.
Okay, great. I love that.
Yeah.
So there's another quote that I really like from meditations.
Okay, what's that?
Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That's a classic Aurelius.
I love the directness of it.
Yeah, he doesn't mess around.
It's just like, cut to the chase.
Get to the point. It's like, stop talking about it. Just do it.
Right. And I think that's so important. It's easy to get caught up in theory, in, like, these intellectual debates about morality.
Oh, for sure.
And all this stuff.
Yeah, we love to argue about what's right and wrong.
Right, but, like, at the end of the day, like, what are you actually doing?
Exactly. Actions speak louder than words.
Right.
And I think that's especially powerful coming from an emperor.
Oh, totally.
Right. Because this is a guy, right,
who could have easily just, like, sat around and talked about virtue, and issued decrees and all that stuff.
Right.
But he's saying, like, no, it's about actually living it.
Embodying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so how do we apply that to our lives today?
I mean, I think it's really about those small everyday choices.
Yeah.
It's not about
grand gestures.
It's not about, like, saving the world every day. It's just like
the little things.
Like, are you being honest? Yeah. Are you being kind?
Are you helpful?
Yeah, are you helpful?
Are you treating people with respect? It's those little things that add up over time and really shape who we are.
So it's about aligning our actions with our values.
Yeah, I like that.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So even if no one's watching, even if you're not going to get, like, a reward for it or recognition for it, it's about doing the right thing.
Yeah, just because it's the right thing.
Just because it's the right thing.
I love that.
Yeah.
So
that was waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another one that really stood out to me was the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts.
Oh, yeah. I love that one.
I love the imagery of it.
Yeah, it's so vivid.
You know, it's like, it's not some abstract.
And it's very concrete,
yeah.
right? This idea that like our thoughts actually have a physical impact on who we are.
Right. They're not just these fleeting things that come and go.
Right.
They actually
they leave a mark. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's really powerful.
And you know, it's interesting because this is something that like modern psychology is actually starting to confirm, right? Yeah. This idea of like neuroplasticity.
Okay.
The fact that our brains are constantly changing based on our experiences, based on our thoughts.
Okay.
So like literally what we focus on, we become.
I mean, that's kind of scary too.
It can be.
You know, like if you're constantly focusing on negative stuff.
Yeah. If you're constantly like, you know, dwelling on negative thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, worrying about things, being, you know, self-critical, all those things.
Right.
That's actually shaping your brain.
Yeah. You're dyeing your soul with those dark colors.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's really important to be mindful of that.
Okay.
Right? To be aware of like what are those colors that you're dyeing your soul with.
So what are some things that people can do to be more mindful of that, to kind of like change those colors?
Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, it's like I said, it's about awareness, right? It's about noticing those negative thought patterns.
Okay.
And then kind of challenging them.
Okay.
Right? Like, is this thought true?
Right.
Is this thought helpful?
Right.
And if not, then how can I kind of like shift my perspective? How can I reframe this thought?
Okay.
And there's lots of different techniques for doing that.
Okay.
You know, there's cognitive behavioral therapy.
Okay.
There's mindfulness meditation.
Okay.
There's, you know, journaling. There's all sorts of things you can do.
Okay, so it's a practice.
Yeah, it's a practice.
So it's not like a one-time thing.
Right. It's not a quick fix.
Right.
But it's something that you can work on over time and gradually start to kind of shift those colors.
Dye your soul with some brighter color.
Exactly. More vibrant, more positive colors.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I mean, we could go on and on about all these quotes.
Yeah, there's so much.
Yeah, there's so much richness in meditations.
Meditations it's a treasure trove.
It is.
Of wisdom.
Yeah.
You know, and it's amazing to me that it's still so relevant today.
I know, like it's like, you know, he was writing this
almost 2,000 years ago.
Almost 2,000 years ago, and it's like it's still so applicable.
And I think that speaks to the enduring power of human experience, right? Like these challenges that we face, these questions that we grapple with, they're not unique to us.
Right.
Like people have been dealing with these things for centuries.
For millennia.
Yeah. And so to kind of like tap into that, that ancient wisdom, I think it can be really helpful.
Yeah, it's almost like, you know, he's giving us this roadmap.
Yeah, it's like a guidebook.
This guidebook, for how to navigate.
It's like how to navigate life.
Yeah, the challenges of life.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know, it's not like he has all the answers.
Right.
But he's kind of like showing us the way, the path. Yeah. And I think that's really valuable.
So, I mean, we've just scratched the surface here today.
Yeah, just scratched the surface.
But hopefully, you know, this is kind of giving you a little taste.
A little taste.
Of what meditations is all about.
Yeah. And I encourage you to go deeper.
Yeah, go check it out.
Read it for yourself.
Yeah.
See what resonates with you.
Yeah, see which quotes.
Let's see they jump out at you.
Yeah, like what speaks to you.
Yeah.
'Cause I think, you know, that's where the real power lies.
Right. It's that personal connection.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, awesome.
That was it. That was our deep dive into the world of Marcus Aurelius and meditations.
Yeah.
Hopefully you enjoyed it.
Hopefully you found it insightful.
Yep.
And hopefully it's inspired you to learn more.
Go explore a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
All right.
Bye.